Okay, so perimeter area volume. First of all, the perimeter of that one. So 4, 4, 2, and 2. Or you could just go 6 add 6 is 12. Area 8 centimetres squared. Question 3. Okay, we have to find the perimeter and the area. So let's do the perimeter first. Put a wee dot where you're starting at. So 9. Now I'm just going to use the calculator in case I make a mistake. So 9 add 3 add, oh, what's this one? Whole thing's 9. I've got 4. This has to be 5x. Just give me up. The whole length is 9. So 9 add 3, add 5, add 2, add 3, add, oh, not a missing one here. That was 3. So that's 6. 3 and 2 is 5. This is x. So add 1, add that one, add 6. Gives me 6 or 30x. To do the area, I'm going to have to split it up into different shapes. That will split here and here. So the first shape is 9x times 3x, 27x squared. This middle shape in here, that's 3x. The length is 4x. So 4x times 2x is 8x squared, and the last one is x squared. So just adding all those up. So we've got 27, add 8, add 1, gives you 36x squared. Okay, over the page. That's just odd numbers we're doing. So number 5, let's about to see that. That's a 4x. I'm just going to fill the sides in this time so I'm not caught out. That's a 4x. That's x. This is x. This is 6y. This is x and x. So see this wee line in here? It must be 6y minus the 2x's. Okay. And it was the perimeter. So perimeter. Oh, sorry, I had it off screen there. I start in this corner. So it's 1. I'll leave this here to the end. 1, 2x, 3x, 4x. 4 add 4 is 8x. I'll leave that to the end. 8x add 4x is 12x. Now I left out the two awkward ones, two horizontals. 6y minus 2x plus 6y. So that tidies up. Do the x is 12x minus 2x is 10x. 6y add 6y is 12y. Now the area for that shape, I would tend to do the big box, take away this wee one. So the big box is 4x times 6y, take away this wee box. And that wee box is x times 6y minus 2x. So a bit awkward. So it's 24xy minus 6xy plus, just times it as bracket, with 2 minus is a plus, a 2, and x squared. Just tidy up those xy's. 24 take away 6 is 18xy plus 2x squared. Quite long, that one. Number 7, area. This is base times height. So 20 times 16. 2 times 16 is 32, and stick a knot on. Question 9. The area of the parallelogram is this. You're told it's base, calculate the height. So you're going backwards in here. 7.56 divided by 5.4. 7.56 divided by 5.4 gives me an answer of 1.4. Question 11. Now they've given me the answer as well. I hate these ones, but anyway, I just have to go with it. It's a trapezium. Do you remember how you do the trapezium? You add the opposite sides, and you divide them by 2, and you multiply them by the height. This time you're told the answer is 360. So, bring this across and divide. 360 divided by 28 is 90 over 7. Goodness. Strange. Answer, 360 divided by 28. Double check that. Yes, indeed. Bring this 2 across and multiply. So times this by 2 gives me an answer of 25.7. Then bring your 20 over and take it away, giving you A equals 1.7. Okay, exercise B. Circumference. If you remember the formula for circumference, it's pi times d. Diameter is going to be 12. So it's 12 pi. Question said give you answers in terms of pi, so you can just leave it there. Question 3. Might need to just do these out on a sheet of paper. There's not a lot of room here. So question 3a. You want the radius, this is exercise B. So circumference is pi times diameter. I'm putting in my information. Circumference is 5 pi. Well, that gets me a diameter of 5. The question wants the radius, just divide that by 2. Part B. Circumference is pi d. I'm writing the formula out each time. So circumference is 16 pi equals pi d. So d equals 16, and the question wants the radius, so it's 8. Question 5. Circumference, find the circumference. So write out your formula. So it's pi d. So the first one is pi times 78. Now, feel free to use the pi button on your calculator. To work your pi button on your calculator, you go shift pi down there. Shift pi times 78. So 245. And a 1 decimal place, 0.0. Part B. Circumference is pi d. So circumference is pi times 39. So just using that button on your calculator, pi times 39 gives me an answer of 122.5 millimeters even. And part C, circumference is pi d. So circumference is pi times 4.4. I just realised these are all radii. I've got to double everything up here. Okay, so let me just correct that. So it's, oh dear, pi times 78 times 2 gives me 490.1 centimetres. That'll teach me from reading the question. Pi times 39 times 2. So circumference is 245 millimetres. And the last one. So it's pi times 4.4 times 2 gives me 27.6 metres. That's better. Question 7. Okay, I need to move this. As you can see. Find the radius, circumference. So still dealing with circumference. Circumference is pi d. Part A, should I out part B, circumference is pi d. And in part A, you're told the circumference is 8.4 and I want you to work out the radius. So bring this across and divide. That will get me diameter. So 8.4 divided by pi. So 8.4, just using your pi button, or you can use 3.14 if you prefer, it doesn't matter. 2.67 divided by 2. So radius is 1.34. Part B, you're told the circumference is 10, so it's pi d. Bring us across and divide. 10 divided by pi gives you diameter of 3.18. You want the radius, just divide that by 2, 1.59 centimetres. Question 9. A semicircle. I'm going to draw this out to help me here. So, it's got a radius of 1.2. Circumference of a circle is pi d. I've got half a circle, so I'm going to divide it by 2. So, pi, but your diameter is going to be 2.4. So just using all that from the picture. 0.5 times pi times 2.4 gives me 3.77. But I want the perimeter. So I've worked out the curve bit, the circumference bit. And to get the full perimeter, I've got to add on 2.4. So perimeter is 3.77, add 2.4 to give me 6.2 centimetres. Question 11. Find the perimeter of a quadrant. I think you did stuff like this in second year, if I remember rightly. And you're told the radius is 6. So you want the perimeter. So let's work out the circumference, the curve bit. Circumference of a circle is pi d. You have a quarter of a circle. Can you imagine the rest of that circle there? Your diameter is going to be 12. So you've got a quarter pi times 12. So quarter of pi times it by 12 gives you 9.4. I'm not finished, but the perimeter, I've got the curve bit, this here bit. And remember the perimeter is the whole way around, so add 6 and add 6. So add 12 to that answer, gives me 21.4 centimetres. Question 13. Oh, we're on to area. So A, area is pi r squared. Always write out your formula. So it's pi times 17 squared. So it's pi times 17 squared, giving you 907.9 centimetres squared. Part B, area is pi r squared, pi times 4.3 squared. So it's pi times 4.3 squared, gives me 58.1 centimetres squared. Question 15, they're telling you the area. So write out your formula, pi r squared. In question 15, they're telling you the answer is 30. So you're going to have to work backwards. Make sure you move the pi first. So it's 30 over pi equals r squared. Then you move your root, or your opposite of square, which is a square root at the end. So in your calculator, the way I would do that is I would go 30 divided by pi, get my equals, then go square root answer to give you 3.1 centimetres. Question 17, let's turn the new page. So, question 17, area of a circle. So area is pi r squared. Write out that formula again. So 120 is pi r squared. Bring this across and divide. You want the r in its own. Opposite of square is square root. So just in the calculator, so I'm going to go 120 divided by pi, and then square root my answer, 6.2. This question is looking for circumference. How do you find the circumference? Circumference is pi times diameter. So remember, diameter is going to be twice this. So you've got that in your calculator, just times it by 2. So it's going to give you 12.4. And times it by pi, and you get 38.8. Now I'm keeping all my answers in the calculator so it's nice and accurate. If your answer's off by a few decimal places, don't worry at all. Right, 19. Find the area of a semicircle. I have to draw out when it's a semicircle or something like that. I want the area. Area of a circle is pi r squared. Semicircle is half of it. You're told its diameter is 16, so its radius is going to be half that. It's going to be 8. So just 0.5 times pi times 8 squared gives you an answer of 100.5 centimetres squared. Question 21. The area of a semicircle. So again, I'm having to draw out the area of a semicircle. A circle is pi r squared. A semicircle is half of it. You're told the answer this time, so just plug it in. I'm going to rearrange this. This 2 will come over to be a multiply. Your pi will come over to be a divide. And then your square will come over to be a root. So square root 72.6 times 2 over pi equals r. So let's put that in the calculator. 72.6 times 2 divided by pi, and then square root your answer. So your radius is 6.8. I want the perimeter of this semicircle. Okay. So I have to do the circumference. Circumference is pi times diameter. So it's pi, remember diameter is twice that radius. So 6.8 times 2. So I've got that answer accurate in my calculator. Just times it by 2 and times it by the pi to give you 42.7. Okay. Now you want the perimeter. I've just worked out the curved bit. So it's 42.7 plus the diameter, which is 2 times your radius. So I've got the 42.7 in the calculator, just in plus 2 times 6.8 to give you an answer of 56.3. Quite a hard one there. And the last one, number 23. What have we got going on in it? Right, a flower bed is a circle. Okay, that's a good start with a radius of 1.2. Mr. Green wants to put compost in the flower bed. The instructions tell him to use 2 litres per square metre. Okay, let me see how many square metres he has first of all. Area is pi r squared. So it's pi times 1.2 squared. So let's see this first. So pi times 1.2 squared gives me an answer of 4.5 metres squared. Now he needs 2 litres per square metre. What amount of compost does he need? So he needs 4.5 square metres times 2. So he needs, now back this into the calculator, he needs just over 9 litres. Okay. So if I was him, I would buy 10 litres just to cover it.